There's good knots, there's bad knots, and there is badass knots. I have a hack to show you for the FG knot. It doesn't have to be difficult. It's not a difficult knot. It really isn't. And it's one of the strongest knots that there is. It's the thinnest knot. So if it needs to, and if there is a little bit of a mistake and your knot goes through your tip eye and some of the eyes, it doesn't break on the way out. It's one of the thinnest knots out there, and it's probably the strongest knot as well. This is really easy knot. It frees you up so you can have both of your hands. You don't need to use your teeth. You don't need to use, I don't know what else you're going to use for the FG knot, but you don't need to use any of that with this hack that I'm going to show you. You're going to need to get yourself a line out, obviously, because you're going to tie a new knot. For leader length, I usually do an arm's length. There's a little bit extra, so I'm just going to use it. So now, here comes the hack. None of this pulling stuff. You don't need to do none of that. What you want to do is you want your rod somewhere so you can get some tension on this tip section. This is where all the business is going to happen, right here. You want to take a length of your braid and you're going to wrap it around your pinky finger like so. Make sure you wrap quite a bit on there. So now all your tension is right here. This is where your tension is. And then you've got both hands free. You're going to take your fluorocarbon, put it over your braid, hold it with those two fingers. And now what you want to do is you want to take your fluorocarbon and you want to go under and under both sides. I do it probably about 18 times. I think 18 is about as ample. When you go under one side, you go under one side and over like so. And then you go under, over. That is one. Let's get this going again. So that was 1, 2, and then under, 3. See, you've got your two hands here. That one's 4. You can also, if your little tag end gets a little bit too long, just pull the main body of it and make that tag end a little bit shorter. It makes it easier to work with. Make sure you hold that tight like that. Can't remember, I think that's 4. It's really, really easy. Just under one side, under the next side, and you can see how that FG knot is forming. 6, 6. Really, really simple. It doesn't have to be difficult. And this is probably one of the best knots that you can get, man. Right, I think that's 8, 9. See how that's starting to form? So you've got tension here from the rod tip, tension here from it being tied around your pinky. You've got the tension in both spots. You should be really okay. Just keep under, over, under, over, under, over 18 times. And with a little bit of practice, it really doesn't take that long. It's a little bit windy out here, so it's difficult, but it can still be done, even though it's windy. I mean, that's 12. Look at that. Your FG knot is almost perfectly formed. Under, over, bam. Let's just do a couple more times. I'll do one more for luck, like so. Now that you've got your wraps all there, it's time to, you gotta lock it off. Unwrap all the braid from your pinky. I know it's a lot, but I pulled out a little bit too much. I'm just gonna snip off a section of this braid because it's a little bit too long, just like so. And then on this part, when you're gonna lock it off, you take the short piece of your fluorocarbon, lay it along your braid, and you're gonna want to do a couple overhand knots, like so. I usually do 3 just for security. There's 1. Make sure that you're going over both pieces, the fluorocarbon and the braid. Lay your fluorocarbon along your main line to get those knots in. There's 2 overhand knots. Boom, and there you go. There's your 3 overhand knots, and now that is locked. Well, it's not locked yet, but the top bit is locked. Now the trick to this, the way an FG knot works, is all these little wraps, they need to embed into the, into the fluorocarbon. Once it's embedded, that ain't going nowhere, man. So then what I like to do is I like to wrap some braid around my hand, wrap the fluorocarbon around my hand and just give it a nice little pull so that braid embeds into the fluorocarbon, just like so. Then you cut your tag ends off. You can cut them as close as you can, and for a little bit of added safety, just give it another pull. Make sure it's in there. That's really, really tight. And there you have it. And then you stick on your clip of your choice, and boom, you've got an FG knot. It's really not hard, man. And it's a really good knot. It's a damn strong knot. So yeah, there is your hack to tie the FG knot. Go and practice it. Just stick a rod, put your rod in the shed or what have you. What you can do is, if you don't have a rock, like that little buddy right there, if you've got to lean it up against the wall, let's say, sometimes I will just put my foot on the handle there, and then you've still got tension on the rod tip. So there you go, man. Go practice it. Go check it out. It'd be a really good knot, another one to have in your arsenal, man. So if you like this video, dude, I'm gonna go all YouTube on it and cliche. Share the video, man. Just go share it and check out one of these other